Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bitter Rivals podcast. This is episode 123, powered by 91N. As always, I am your host, Avery along with co-host Gitano Gallo. So, the NHL season, for the most part, has come to a close. The Stanley Cup playoff matchups, for the most part, have been set. Austin Matthews, for the most part, almost scored 70 goals. So yeah, it's that's been the story of the past week and a half for the Leafs, probably since the last time we talked. Is he had, I believe it was like 11 goals in 8 games on an 8-game scoring streak there. And he brought 70 back into play, and he finished at 69, as we know. Nice. And that is the most goals since, I'm imagining,
96.
Mario, 96?
I don't know who it was, but I know it was 96.
Yeah? I thought it was earlier than that even.
No. I remember seeing it on TSN last night. It was most since 96.
So almost 30 years.
Enough.
Almost 30 years.
Don't do that to me, Abe. Don't age me like that, Abe.
Yeah, that's a long time. That is a long time. So, yeah, best goal scorer in the NHL right now. Even Gitano's going to have to start admitting that he might be passing Ovi, and he's probably going to blow past Ovi's goals record as long as he stays healthy in the league.
I still can't believe Ovi hit 30 this year. For how dog shit of a year he had.
He was not good. At the beginning of the year specifically, he sucked.
And still dropped 30. Love it for him.
Yeah, and he pushed those Washington Capitals into a playoff series. Not a fun playoff series, but a fun playoff series, but a playoff series nonetheless. Okay, you gotta stop. Sorry, right, I got my dog here.
I said before we do playoffs, let's just kind of put a nice bow on the regular seasons for both the Leafs and Habs. Your season ended last night, the Habs the night before. We'll start in Toronto, like we typically do.
Okay, so in Toronto, obviously, the big story of the season was the team MVP, Austin Matthews, almost scoring 70 goals. It seems like the team's been checked out. So, like, for the past 4 or 5 games, they don't care anymore. They're waiting for Saturday night. For the most part, I think we thought we were going to be playing the Florida Panthers. That's how it looked like things were going to boil down. But obviously, we know that isn't the case, and now it's the Boston Bruins on Saturday, but we will talk about the regular season. Sorry, I'm already getting ahead of myself. Yeah. Goaltending's a little shaky. First season under Treliving, I would say that I don't think they're better on paper, but I think they're better suited moving forward. And I think that was the whole goal of the whole year. And we say this as Leafs fans every year. We don't care what happens between October and April. It's what happens in April that we care about, right? And that's exactly where we are. William Nylander finished very disappointingly. Didn't even crack 100 points. I think it was at a point in February, he was on pace for 125 points, and he didn't even finish with 100. So he finished poorly. We're hoping to see some playoff Willie, though, as we have seen in recent years. He's always been, especially from that core group of players, the one that steps up come playoff time. And it's probably knowing him, he is checked out. He's just checked out. He doesn't really care about what happens until Saturday night. I don't think it was an overly successful season for the Leafs. I don't think it was an overly unsuccessful season for the Leafs. I think it was right about in the middle. I think Treliving will probably be judged this season based on what happens now. And that's
the job, isn't it?
That's the nature, right? And yeah, go ahead.
So what would you just like overall give the Leafs season on like a letter grade? Like,
I would go maybe
A being great.
B+ or A- kind of area. Like they got like a 78 on the test.
Fair.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Like they didn't flunk it, but they definitely could have done a little better.
Yeah, they definitely could have done a little bit better. Anyway, so there's not really much to say other than what I've said already when it comes to the Leafs. They were tougher. They definitely, especially the last half of the season, and that's what makes us feel a little bit better going into this playoff series against the Boston Bruins is they look tougher. And you know what? we'll get to it when we talk about it. Let's move on to Montreal for now, and we'll talk about playoff series later.
Yeah, so kind of, it's going to sound weird to say this, but I think this season went better than most Habs fans expected, even though we still finished fifth last in the league. It was kind of the first time in the last 2 years that we've really seen. So the last kind of 2 seasons have been like, oh, like we have the pieces. It's just a matter of time before it all kind of clicks. This was the first season where you actually saw things start to click. Like we have a first line now. We have pieces of a second line. We have pieces of a defense core. We have pieces for goaltending. Like, and obviously it's not quite there yet. Still got to cook a little more. I don't think we'll be good for another year or two still. But this is a fun year and a really like visible leap forward for everyone. Obviously, we're going to start up front. Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky is the legitimate first line in the NHL. Nick Suzuki, 77 points in 82 games, almost hit 35 goals, finished on 33. First Habs to score 30 plus since Gallagher did it. First Habs centerman to do it since Galchenyuk did it. So, I mean, like, that's a huge step for us. He kind of established himself, like, I think, league-wide as, like, he's a legit number one centerman now. Like, there's no real questions to be asked anymore. It's more of just, how far can he push this? Can he become... I assume he will be a point-a-game player. Can he become that 90, 95, maybe 100-point player in the future? That's kind of where the discussion should be now. Slafkovsky, after a rough start to the season, I won't lie, really turned it on second half of the year, finished with 20 goals, 30 assists for 50 points. And it almost looked like he finally like realized that he's 6'3". Like it kind of like clicked in his head, like, oh, I'm a big guy. I can skate. I can use my body. He started playing a lot more like close to the net, like in the crease, and it obviously paid off well for him. Putting up his first career hat trick last week as well against the Flyers in the Bell Center, which I thought was just kind of a very full circle moment. If you remember correctly, fans were not overly pleased with the selection at first, and there was some boos in the Bell Center when he was taking the pictures and putting on the jersey and stuff. And in one of his interviews after the draft said, I know Montreal fans are really passionate. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to prove them wrong, and they're going to cheer for me. And then, 2 years later, scores his first hat trick in the Bell Center. And it was probably as loud as I've heard the Bell Center since the Josh Anderson goal in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final in 2021. Like, just the place erupted. So it was just great moment for him. And then obviously finished Caulfield, career high 28 goals, career high 65 points. Not his best season points wise, but I think his, like I said in the last couple episodes, his whole game has kind of improved. And as long as that kind of keeps up and that trend keeps going, I still think sky's the limit for him. I think the kind of big news in the last couple days has been that Marty St. Louis has the Habs have triggered his 2-year extension, so we're looking at least 3 more years on his contract. I think he is still the perfect kind of coach. Whether he's going to lead us to a Stanley Cup, I can't say that, but I think for this transition, he's so far proved to be the perfect guy. The players just seem to respond to everything that he does, and he gets kind of the right response. And I just like the fact that it's not one of those same 5 or 6 guys, that we always talk about, like, oh, someone gets fired and, the same guys get the same jobs. I like that he's got this job for now. And then the last thing I want to touch on were the NHL debuts for Lane Hutson and Logan Mailloux. Lane Hutson looked like a superstar already. He's played 2 games in the NHL. I'm fully convinced that he is just going to be like one of my favorite Habs for the next decade plus. We haven't had a flashy offensive defenseman since PK Subban. We haven't had a power play quarterback since fucking Andrei Markov. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then just quickly on Mailloux, I've said it a handful of times already, kind of my thoughts on the situation. I think the NHL and the Habs both kind of blew it here. So the NHL put out a statement the morning before his debut basically saying that they've been meeting with him for the last 8 to 10 months and are confident that he understands the gravity of his mistakes and blah, 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 blah. I think this was a great opportunity for them or the Habs to, outwardly say, like, these are the courses he's done. This is, the therapists and counselors he's seen, kind of actually show us the steps he's made. Because I don't trust the league when it comes to stuff like this. When they say, oh, like, things are fine, I don't trust that. I do have some trust in the new Habs management group. I think they kind of have their head in the right spot, unlike the previous regime. But I still think this is a massive, massively blown opportunity for them to not clear his name. Not what I mean, but like kind of, prove that, what they are saying that they wanted to see from him, which was kind of that rehabilitation and growth and understanding, kind of come to fruition. And they fumbled that one pretty hard. Letter grade, I would, and again, like, this is for the Habs season, for the expectations going in, I'd probably give it a B+ as well. I think, we made the steps we wanted to see. The only real blow was the Kirby Dach injury in game 2. He played fucking 4 periods and blew his ACL. Outside of that, like, we kind of saw everything we wanted to see in terms of the players' progressions. We saw guys get some chemistry together. So I would say overall probably a B+. Yeah, I think it was an all right year to be a Montreal Canadiens fan.
Yeah, well, and we've been talking about this for months. It's a completely different world, right? Like, being a Montreal Canadiens fan.
My B+ season and your B+ season are not the same B+ seasons.
No, very, very different things happening there.
Yeah.
So do we want to jump right into playoff series now? Is that where we go?
So do you want to do playoffs, or do you want to just kind of wrap up some other loose ends quick?
Well, let's wrap up some loose ends, including the Arizona situation, Arizona Salt Lake situation.
So let's just start there. The Arizona Coyotes don't exist anymore.
No, the Arizona Coyotes played their last game in the state of Arizona yesterday. There is a clause, I believe, in Alex Marullo's sale contract, who is the owner of, or was the owner of, the Arizona Coyotes, that he has 5 years to have a state-of-the-art building finished. And he will be able to bring a team back there, whether it's through expansion or another relocation or whatever happens there. But this iteration of the Arizona Coyotes will be moving to Salt Lake City, Utah.
I just want to stop on the owner for a second, or the former owner, I should say. Didn't even have the balls to go to their last game last night.
Nope, he was not there.
Pathetic.
Did you see the other story that a fan retrieved Shane Doan's retirement banner from their old arena, Gila River Arena, which they haven't played. They didn't play there last year or the year before, and the arena staff actually called ownership and said, "You have, like, your banners here. You might want to come get them," and they just didn't. Like, Shane Doan's the best player in franchise history, the most important player in franchise history. And you just, we don't need it. We don't need we don't need the banner. It's wild. It's truly insane. It's like,
I would understand if maybe the owners of the Mullet Arena, didn't have space for it or didn't want it up. Like, fair, that's kind of understandable. It's not the Coyotes barn. But yeah, you got to take it. Like, put it in a storage unit somewhere. Like,
yeah.
Like, put it on display somewhere else. You don't just fucking leave it in the garbage at your old arena. Like, that's, like, if I'm Shane Doan, I'm pissed. Like, I want nothing to do. I know it's not the fans' fault. It's not the community's fault. You obviously want to keep, good relations there. But, like, with that ownership group, I'd be fucking done.
Well, and let's, like, talk about the fact that not only that, but his son plays for the team right now. Like, Josh Doan plays for the Arizona Coyotes right now, and they just the disrespect is wild to me. And he deserves to lose that team after years and years and years of just total dog shit, for lack of a better term. Like, they just the worst run franchise in professional sports.
You truly could not mismanage a franchise worse than he did.
No, it's like wild.
Like what more could you do to fuck that situation up? Genuinely.
No, and hopefully they have a better outcome in Salt Lake City in Utah. I think they will.
I mean,
They're
it
being
can't get
purchased.
worse.
Well, the owner just tweeted like a half an hour ago that they have 6,000 seasons tickets deposits already, which is more than you could fit in Mullet Arena. So that's a good start. That's a really good start. He's also the owner of the Utah Jazz, Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake is a
The
Major
MLS
League Soccer
franchise,
team.
yeah.
So he knows what he's doing when it comes to owning these professional sports teams, and he's got deep pockets. I just looked into him. He's the founder of a tech company. He's worth like $1.6 billion. So they got money, which is good, right? They need money. That's a big part of what plagued Arizona is they have no money, and they weren't spending money, and they couldn't build a new arena, and
They didn't pay
it
their
was just
taxes.
they didn't pay. Dude, there was rumors that they weren't paying hotel bills for their players.
Oh, it's not rumors. It's like basically confirmed that like multiple teams across the league were sending them invoices and they were just not hearing back from them.
It's wild.
Like that's
How does a professional sports team end up in that situation
and
financially?
like that's the thing. Like, and it's not like there's some like fucking, and I don't mean to shit on the ECHL here, but like it's not like this is an ECHL team where like
No,
kind
no,
of
this is the
nobody's paying
National
attention.
Hockey League.
Yeah.
This is the National Hockey League.
Yeah. I do just quickly kind of last words on this. I do feel bad for the small kind of community and hockey supporters that the Coyotes did have. That's brutal getting your team ripped away from you for those like the hardcore ones. I
Yeah.
do feel really bad for them. I feel bad for the people within that organization who aren't going to have jobs anymore. The people not in hockey operations, the fucking all those people. Like that sucks. That someone just mismanaged, your job so poorly that you are now unemployed. That is brutal. Hearts go out to them. Hopefully they can bounce back. And hopefully, like you said, someone brings hockey back to Arizona and does it the right way this time.
Yeah, that's kind of what you want to see. And, it right down to the bitter end, dude. Right down to the bitter end where they mismanaged. Because the other rumor is that the owner's son was the one running the social media account for the past few months. And last night, after that game, they tweeted, "We'll see you on June 27th," which is the auction date for the land that they plan on building a new arena at. Like, just nothing thanking the fans, just no, and instantly deleted that tweet, by the way.
The internet doesn't let you forget those, though.
No, it's just wild, though. Right down to the bitter end. Just
and you know what? And I would have that smidge more respect if they had the balls to tweet that from a box in the arena, but they didn't.
No, they didn't even show up.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So good riddance to Alex Merlo.
Hashtag rip the Arizona Coyotes. We outlived them.
We did.
we outlived the fucking NHL franchise.
Not surprising. Okay, now are we?
Some better news? Just quick one. Canada's women beat the U.S. In the gold medal game for the Women's World Championships in overtime. Huge props to them, and just I will always. Ladies. It's a hill that I will die on. There's nothing on earth better than beating the United States in anything. But when it comes to hockey, men's or women's, junior, senior, I fucking love beating the United States. There's no better feeling. So congratulations to that team. Just incredible as always. They're just fucking unbelievable. Marie-Philippe Poulin, more goals in gold medal games, obviously. Just phenomenal stuff.
Yep, that's her. I think she scored her only 2 goals of the tournament in those in that gold medal game. Huge OT win.
They don't call her Captain Clutch for nothing. She didn't get the winner, but 2 goals in the gold medal game is not too shabby.
No, that's what she does. Quickly, just before we get off I know we're already off the subject, but I just want to add it to the actual relocation to Utah. So they will not be referred to as Salt Lake City. They will be referred to as Utah. my understanding is we will not have a team name for at least the first year, which I hate. I hate that.
That's an interesting choice. Like, what the fuck can they do for jerseys? Just like plain.
Well,
What?
apparently trademarks have been filed for Utah HC and Utah Hockey Club, so that's what they'll be referred to.
I actually don't hate that. That's not terrible.
Just to start,
It's got that
right off the
European
top of the
feel to
dome.
it.
Give me 3 names for a Utah team.
So here's the thing: when I think hockey in Utah, the only thing I think of is the 2002 Olympics and Canada winning gold. So I got like nothing that isn't just like the Utah Loonies under the ice. Like,
No, for me, honestly, I'll give you my 3. So Utah, you could do something that like aligns with the Utah Jazz, especially because it's the same owner. So I don't know, something around that. Like, but you already have the Blues too, which would kind of make that weird. I think you should do something hilarious just to chirp Alex Marullo and call them the Utah Phoenixes. I think that would be hilarious.
So here's the thing: that would be a great shot at him, but I also feel like the fans are going to eat like that hardcore kind of Arizona Coyotes fan base is going to eat a lot of that shot, and I don't think that's fair on them.
I think that would be so funny. And then the last one, I'm on a similar thought process of you, the Olympics and hockey in the Olympics and hockey in Utah. So I was just gonna literally say the Utah Olympics.
Oh yeah, like I actually don't hate that like at all.
Yeah,
I don't know how legal they could do that, like, but I don't hate that.
Yeah, I thought it would be cool. So those are my 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Utah Lucky Loonies. But if you have a better one than those 4 suggestions, leave it in the comments or tweet it at us, because
There you go.
ours are kind of shit.
They're kind of dog water. I was watching Overdrive earlier, and O'Dog goes, "What did he say? The Utah Mammoths." The Utah Mammoths.
I think we've got O-Dog beat.
That is awful. That is an awful name for a hockey team. The Utah Mammoths. Okay, let's move into the meat and potatoes of this episode, we'll call it, which is a little bit. We have most of our playoff matchup set, so we're going to talk to you a little bit about that. So let's get into it, Gitano. Let's go. Let's start in the East, because that's. Or do you want to start in the West? And we'll go under the assumption that Vegas wins tonight, and it's Vegas Edmonton. And LA Dallas.
So as a recording, the West isn't fully set. The teams that will be involved are set, but the order in which they will finish is not quite set. We're going to assume that Vegas beats Anaheim because Anaheim is trash, and Vegas has actually been looking very good lately. So, Ave, if you want to read us out what the matchups are going to look like, if the assumption is correct.
Under that assumption, we would have Dallas, LA. Good series. We have Winnipeg, Colorado. Great series. We have Vancouver, Nashville. That one is set. So those 2 are set. It will be confirmed, Winnipeg versus Colorado, and it will be confirmed Vancouver versus Nashville.
Whew.
Yeah. So those are a couple of heater series right there. And then the last one would be the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights, which is another heater series. Like, you can make an argument that there is, of those 8 teams, there are honestly like 7 teams that I'm looking at right now. Honestly, all 8 of them could make a case that they could make a run at the Cup. All 8 of them.
Easily. Like, I look at that and it's just...
The only one that I don't like, honestly, is LA. What I'm looking at.
That's pretty fair, not gonna lie.
Dallas finished first in the division, or in the conference. Winnipeg has Connor Hellebuck, who is by far the Vezina winner this year.
Yeah.
But they play Colorado, and
like,
yeah,
that's like
Colorado.
That's a fucking conference final matchup right there, and we're gonna get in the first round.
Bangers, and then look at the heater that Nashville just went on to get in.
Yeah,
dude. That's a team you don't want to play as a team on a heater like that. Vancouver's been on top of the Western Conference all year, and they're getting Demko back.
Yeah.
Edmonton, we don't need to tell you why Edmonton's good. You know why Edmonton's good. They have 2 of the top 5 players in the league, including the best player in the league.
Yeah.
And they also have a guy, neither of those guys scored 50 goals this year, but they have another guy who did, Zach Hyman. And then let's talk about Vegas. They are the defending Stanley Cup champions who maybe look better on paper right now than they did at the beginning of the playoffs last year.
Yeah. Plus, a couple guys who are miraculously healthy for the playoffs, as per usual.
As per usual. Yeah. That's just so. Let's start with the Dallas LA series. Let's go do some predictions here. So I'm going to take Dallas in 5 in that series.
I'm going to take Dallas in 6. I think Ottinger is going to be the big difference. I'm not a big fan of LA's goaltending.
No, and actually, if you look at the numbers, LA's goaltending has been good, but I'm definitely a fan of Ottinger in favor of that. And I also like Dallas's whole team better.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that one's pretty easy. Like Winnipeg, Colorado, man, it's going to be a crazy series. Like that's going to be a fun series. I'm going to take Winnipeg in 7.
I'm torn here because on one side you have Connor Hellebuyck, the best goalie in the league. Winnipeg is just a solid team all the way around.
Yep.
And on the other hand, it's the fucking Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
It's fucking Makar and McKinnon and fucking Rantanen, and they just look so good every year. My prediction is going to be 7. And I'm going to go Colorado in 7. I think McKinnon is just going to make that difference. I don't think Winnipeg has an offensive answer to him. If he kind of cranks it up to 11, I don't think they have someone that can match that. And I think McKinnon will crank it up, and I think he'll be the difference.
Well, and you didn't even mention Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar.
Yeah.
They're Devon Toews. They're just filthy all the way through. Vancouver, Nashville. Another banging series. So for this one, I'm gonna say this one's gonna go at least 6, maybe 7. I'll call it 6. And I think that's going to be Vancouver. I think Vancouver's going to beat them. As much as I think that Nashville is a very, very scary team, especially because the heater they went on after being barred from the U2 concert at the Las Vegas Sphere there.
No NHL team is ever going to book or they're going to book a concert and then cancel it. Nobody's ever going to fucking team concerts ever again.
I think they went like on a 13-0-2 heater after that.
Something like that.
Just absurd stuff. So yeah, for me, I think what it is because they went on that heater, I'm betting on them running out of gas. That's where I come from in picking Vancouver.
I think that's fair. I also think Demko coming back is going to be huge for Vancouver. I've seen him in person this year. They are fucking good. So I'm going to actually agree with you here. I think it's going to be Vancouver in 6.
Okay, fair enough. Edmonton, Vegas. I'm going to make you pick this one first.
I think it's going to be Edmonton in 6.
Okay, I got Edmonton in 7.
Yeah, there's something about them this year, and I've been very open the last 4 years on the Bitter Rivals podcast, shitting on the Oilers.
You have.
Something's changed. I got a tingling feeling that
something's
a little different. Something's a little different.
They're gonna do something. They're gonna go on a heater. I got a feeling they're going on a heater.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say 6 or 7. I'm gonna go 6, but 7 wouldn't shock me. But I do think Edmonton's going through here.
Okay, so as a recap, I have Dallas, Winnipeg, Vancouver, and Edmonton.
So I have Dallas, Colorado, Vancouver, Edmonton. So we're the same except for But and that's a toss up there,
dude. We honestly have 8 coin flips here.
Yeah, if we both had 4 totally opposite predictions, there wouldn't be any arguments to be had.
No, it's totally fair. You could anything could go either way. Okay, let's move on to the Eastern Conference. These are all completely set. So these we know will be the matchups. By the way, the playoffs start on Saturday night. Actually, Saturday afternoon, I believe there is a game at 5 o'clock, and then the Leafs play at 8 on Saturday. It'll be a fun Saturday night. Okay, so let's start up top. We got the Florida Panthers playing the wild card Tampa Bay Lightning. Wild to say that. Vasilevsky's turned it on lately. Kucherov is Kucherov. Stamkos had 40 points again. Cirelli had a career year. Point had 50 goals. Pardon? 40. What did I say?
You said 40 points.
Yeah, 40 goals. That's what I meant. I'm still going to take the Florida Panthers. The reason for that is they're just a better team. That's why they finished higher in the standings. That's why they finished first place in the Atlantic, and they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. They're going to be able to shut down Tampa. They're going to be able to exercise those demons, and they're going to shut down Tampa. They're going to win that series. They're going to win that series in 6 games.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be Florida's defense versus Tampa's offense. That's going to be the series.
Yep.
I just, as much as I have a massive dislike for the Tampa Bay Lightning, that's putting it very, very lightly. I find it so hard to not pick them, especially when you know you know that kind of Florida is going to give them that bit of runway. Like Florida's not going to be pushing offensively. You know they're going to be sitting that little bit deeper. I think it's going to be an absolute fucking war. I think it's going to be it's not going to be the Battle of Florida. It's going to be a fucking war. And I just think Tampa's firepower is going to push them through here. I'm going to go Tampa in 7.
Okay, so there's a difference right there. And like we said, I don't disagree with you that any of that can happen. Yeah. That's either of those outcomes would not surprise me. Let's save Leafs Bruins for last. Let's go Rangers Capitals. This for me is the easiest one to predict. I'm going to take the Rangers in 5 here. Capitals in terms of goal differential were like a bottom 5 team in the league. They basically prayed to God and got in. I don't even know how they're in.
Can we just briefly talk about the situation that got them in?
Yeah, that was nuts.
So I've got the Habs Red Wings game on my one screen, the Capitals and Flyers game on another. The Red Wings needed at least a point, preferably 2, to survive. They were down a goal to the Habs with 3.3 seconds left on the clock. Yeah. They also needed the Capitals to not win almost instantaneously. So the Red Wings score with 3 seconds left to tie the game up. Almost immediately, the Flyers, who needed a regulation win and a regulation win only to clinch, pull their goalie, tied at 1 to kind of push for that result. The Capitals score into the empty net 30 seconds after. So the Red Wings are celebrating, having saved their season. Not even 30 seconds later, TJ Oshie scores the empty netter to seal their fate, seal the Capitals spot in the playoffs. It was just an insane 90 seconds of NHL hockey. It was just incredible. Yeah. But the moral of the story is the Capitals are not good, and I'm going to say Rangers in 5.
Yeah, Rangers in 5. That's the prediction, and they're just a better team. Shesterkin can turn it on. They have everything you could ask for. Panarin could be an MVP candidate this year, and any other year he would be. Yeah, that's an easy one for me. Carolina Islanders, not as easy, but I'm still going to take the favorite here, the Carolina Hurricanes in 6.
Yeah, I've got them in 7, but same thing. I think the Islanders are going to put up a good fight. I just think the Hurricanes are just a better team.
I can't disagree with you there. Gensel's just been a revelation for them. He has helped them so much. If they can get some goaltending, man. And the other thing you have to remember, it's not Sorokin and net. It's Varlamov, right? So
that's a significant drop.
Yeah, and if they can get any goaltending at all, Carolina, they're gonna roll them, in my opinion. Now, let's move on to it. For me, honestly, and I don't think this is coming from a biased place. Maybe the closest series, the one where I actually have no idea what is going to happen and is very nerve wracking, is this Boston Toronto series. For me, that's the biggest coin flip.
I think just given the history of this series, because I think Colorado and Winnipeg, I don't think, or they haven't played each other like a shit ton of times in recent years. We've only seen 2 battles of Florida in the last couple of years in the playoffs, but like it feels like almost every year it's Boston Toronto in the first round.
So it's been 5 years since we played Boston in the first round.
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it just happened.
Yeah, no, it's been 5 years, half a decade.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
For me,
you must have PTSD from this though. Like given not just the amount of times you guys have played the Bruins, but the actual results of those series.
Yeah, they're all Game 7 heartbreakers, right? That's what's going to happen here. It's going to be a 7-game series. For me,
no doubt about that.
There's almost a guarantee it's going to be like I would bet my house. I might bet my house on a 7-game series. What is there to say here? They cleaned us in the season series 3-4 times. They beat us 3 or 4 times. I think we played them 4 times. 2 of those games went to overtime. In all of the series that they've beaten us in, though, so there's been 3, 2018, 2019, and 2013, or in recent memory. Obviously, there's been more than that before, but in recent times, salary cap era, let's call it. Every one of those years, we swept the season series against them. In 2013, 2018, and 2019, and then they beat us in 7 in the playoffs, all 3 of those years. Now they've swept the season series against us. That's
so do you think the tables have turned here, or is that just?
I'm thinking that might be a little bit of poetry in motion, if you will.
A little bit of romance in the game.
Yeah. The other thing too that I think is kind of underrated is the Leafs won a playoff series last year. Boston choked in the first round. Very bad. Like monumental choking. Another thing that is, I don't think people are thinking right now, but I sure am, is we're significantly tougher than they are. We just are. There's no Krejci. There's no Bergeron. There's no Lucic running around out there. There's no Chara on the back end. They're gone, right? And we've added guys like Domi, Bertuzzi. They had Bertuzzi last year. He's ours now. We've got Jake McCabe, Ryan Reeves. Guys Simon Benoit. Guys who will go out there and make you pay. Especially, we know how the rule book looks in the playoffs. And Joel Edmondson's going to be taking guys' heads off with cross checks.
Like I said, you are going to love Joel Edmondson in the playoffs.
And he's going to be.
Sorry, I was going to say he's going to become your favorite defenseman. Sorry, continue.
Boston just can't match it. I don't see them matching our physicality. They have an edge in net. That's where their edge is. And that's why they've been so good for the past 2 years, is because they've been getting significantly above average goaltending out of Ullmark and Swayman. They've been the story of the Boston Bruins for 2 years. And if you can take that and take advantage of them somehow, then I think you have a really good chance to beat Boston. I really do. I don't like Boston's team. I don't think they're deep. I think they have a couple of really, really good players in Marchand and Pasternak, but other than that, in their wingers, I don't like them up the middle. I don't like their D, McAvoy, and not too much after that. What they have is a team culture. We know that. That's what Boston has and has always had. Chara started it. Bergeron perfected it. That's what they do. They play good hockey. But I think we're a better team. I think we're a tougher team too. And you put 2 of those things together, I'm taking the Leafs in 7. That's my pick. Obviously, that's my pick. But I had to explain myself.
Yeah. No, I feel that. As someone who hates both teams, almost as much as I love the Canadiens, I hate the Bruins and the Leafs. It's just, I trying to remove myself from that and just looking at the hockey. The Bruins, to me, I haven't liked their team for the last couple of years. I've said for a few years now, like it's kind of they should be starting the downward trend, and they just haven't. They always just find a way. Obviously, they choked massively last year in the playoffs. I mean, we can talk about it. It was fucking great as Habs and Leafs fans to see that. Incredible. I think they probably learned some hard lessons that year. That hey, like, it's not always. The machine just doesn't always roll like that, I also think the Leafs learned a lot last year in winning and learning how to get that machine to kind of roll. So it's really like, to me, like this is like splitting hairs. Like I said, it's going to be 7. That's a guarantee. Just honestly, for the sake of pissing you off, I'm going to go with the Bruins. But yeah, if the Leafs were to win in 7, like it wouldn't shock me here.
Yeah. It's going to be a tight series. And it's going to be haymakers going both ways. That's the nature of these two teams when they play. I'm just happy that the Leafs are more equipped to deal with it now. I can't wait for Saturday night. 8:00. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. Starting in Toronto or Boston?
Starts in Boston, so they have home ice. But
game 7 in fucking in the TD is not a fun place.
No, I don't know. Like I wish you could prepare yourself for a game 7, but you can't.
You can't. No, it's just
like I wish I could mentally prepare already, like right now, like, but you can't. And it's gonna fall the way it falls, man. And I don't know how it's gonna fall. I'm hoping it's a Leafs victory, but it's gonna be. This is going to be a hell of a Stanley Cup playoff all the way around. All the way around.
I don't remember outside of the Washington New York series, which should be kind of a pretty easy one. Like I don't remember the last time I looked at a bracket and went like,
wow,
holy shit.
Like these are. It just goes to show you the parity in the league right now. It takes a full deep team, and all of these teams seem to have, well, not all of them, minus maybe Washington and the Islanders, but
yeah,
this is just all heavyweights, and it's going to be so fun to watch for a couple months, man. This is going to be some good hockey, because if you look at this, no matter what happens, you're going to have great second-round matchups. You're going to have great conference finals, and you're going to have a great Stanley Cup final. Look at these teams.
The only way you get shit matchups in the East is if Washington and the Islanders somehow win. That's the only way, and I don't see either of those things happening.
No.
But honestly, if one of those teams shithouse their way to the Stanley Cup final, I'd laugh so hard.
That would be so annoying, though. Like, that would be so annoying. Oh my god. Anyway, there's not a whole lot else I have to say. It's gonna be fun. That's I think where we should leave this here. Is there anything else you need to get off your chest, Gitano?
You shout out Owen Beck, Habs prospect. Actually went to the Hounds game last night. Hounds are fucking rolling. That was a great dub for them. But Owen Beck playing for the Saginaw Spirit. We're going to call him a fan of the channel because he saw our Instagram story that we tagged him in. So shout out to Owen Beck. Go Hounds go, though, for the rest of these playoffs. Hopefully we get tickets to Game 6 here in the Sioux, and hopefully tickets for the next round as well when we make it through. But
I checked today.
I didn't think so. I figured they'd be gone.
Yeah. This morning I looked and there was a five pack of seats together. That was literally the only 5 seats in the whole place. It was wild. Anyway, yeah, I don't have a whole lot to get off of my chest. The only game confirmed so far for the Leafs is the Leafs and Bruins on Saturday night. You would assume they're probably going to play Sunday as well. Or not Sunday, Monday. There's been some rumors but they might make them go Saturday, Monday, Thursday, and I hate that. I'd hate to have the 2 days off there. I get it the travel day, but ugh.
I mean, I don't mind it if it gets you Thursday, Saturday game. Like, I don't mind that. Like,
Yeah.
like as a a purist, like playoff hockey, Leafs Bruins should be on a Saturday night. Like, don't play that shit on a Friday. Don't play that shit on a Sunday. Play it on Saturday. If you have to fucking wiggle your schedule around a little bit to make it happen, I say you make it happen. That's my 2 cents on it.
Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. So this is what we have scheduled so far. It's just the East matchups. So we got Saturday, 5 o'clock Islanders Canes, 8 o'clock Leafs Bruins. Sunday, Lightning Panthers go at 12:30. Afternoon game. Capitals Rangers go at 3 o'clock.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, so nice staggered there. No games at the same time, which is always nice. We love to see that come playoff time. Yeah. And we will be watching the Ducks Golden Knights game to see how everything plays out. You would hope Vegas can pull that one out, though.
Yeah, like, they should. The Ducks are fucking awful. Yeah, I think, the Ducks are so bad. They're so bad.
They're terrible.
Like, I'm trying to like not just totally shit on them here as we end this episode, but like, fuck, they're not good.
They're not good. All right, so everybody buckle up. This is the best time of the hockey season. As everybody knows, there's nothing better than NHL playoff hockey. The Stanley Cup playoffs, they go above and beyond every year in terms of entertainment, man. The overtime games, the storylines, the heartbreak, the triumphs, everything. It's just amazing.
It's the pinnacle of sport.
It truly is. There's nothing better than playoff hockey. All right, we will talk to you. Are we going to do an episode this Sunday?
Yeah, we might as well. Well, the playoffs will have started. We
will talk to you Sunday. We delayed this week's episode until today so we could get a little bit more of an idea of what the playoffs look like, and we could do a little bit of a playoff preview. But we will talk to you on Sunday. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Bitter Rivals, powered by 91N. I'm Avery Roach. This is Gitano Gallo, and we are signing off.